Hi guys, welcome to the next episode of Luke's Landys. Today we're going to be ripping the front floors out of this old girl. You might have seen in one of the other videos, they're pretty rusted up around the front where they go up into the firewall. So we're going to pull the aluminium floor pans out of it and see how far the steel rust goes, see how big we need to make the new ones. Hope you enjoy. So guys, for anyone that doesn't know, these floor pans here, they're actually just a sheet of aluminium. That's why that one never rusts. They get a little bit of corrosion, like you can see this one's got a bit of corrosion along that edge from where the steel one was rusting underneath it. But yeah, this floor pan will be fine to use. We just need to make a new one or buy a new one to go in that bit there. So, and in the 300 TDI onwards, these transmission tunnel covers, they are actually like a fiber plastic sort of composite thing, but in the 200 TDI or earlier, they are aluminium as well. These ones can be a little bit tricky to get out because you don't want to break them by bending them too much, and they are a little bit of a pain to get out with the fuse box in the way and all that. But I'll show you getting that out and we'll get this out. I'm just going to cut most of these old rusted screws off because there's no way that they're going to come out, and I'll replace them with stainless bolts anyway, because then if it's got to come out in the future I don't have to mess around with dodgy Phillips head screws. So yeah. So first things first guys, we're going to rip this centre bit out. It's the first bit that's got to come out. So just unbolt the handbrake, and hopefully this one has captive nuts on the back of it. Some of the earlier ones don't. You've got to actually go underneath and hold the nut while you undo the bolt from this side. I'm really hoping this one's got captive ones. That'd make it really easy. And then yeah, rip all the screws out. I'm gonna pull any of these top ones out that I can to try and avoid cutting into this plastic, but these ones along the bottom I'll probably just have to cut. So I'll get that handbrake out and we'll go from there. And it's not a captive one, so this is a little bit tricky now because there's only one of me. So guys, up there just below where the handbrake cable comes out is the nut that is on the back side of the bolt for the handbrake. So I'm going to try and wedge a spanner on that and then undo it with a rattle gun so it comes out, because it won't come out with a ratchet because the spanner will fall off before you get it through. So after a little bit of messing around with those two nuts on the back, got the handbrake lever off. So now we're going to rip the screws out of the top of this and then cut the bottom ones off. So guys, as you might be able to tell, the driver's side is a lot worse than this passenger side, and that's probably got something to do with when I picked it up, the driver's window was down, and probably the driver's side's been used a lot more than the passengers. You can tell there's no paint on that floor panel. This one has no wear on it at all. That might have been just because this side had a mat on it, but you can tell like there's nowhere near as much rust in the floor. These screws all came undone, so yeah, who knows, it probably had more to do with the window being open than usage, but yeah, anyway. So guys, transmission tunnel's out. Actually came out way easier than I thought it would. It's probably because I got no seats or anything in it, I guess. So yeah, I only had to cut these four along here, that one, that one, that one, and that one, which makes it really easy to put it back together because I can just put the other screws back in. But for the floor panels, I'm going to have to cut all this floor panel. I'm going to have to cut these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm going to replace all of them with stainless bolts and nutserts because it just makes life so much easier if you've ever got to get them out again. So guys, we got this driver's side out. As you can see, he's eating all the way back up there, around there. So that's nothing that I didn't already know really. We're going to need a new chassis outrigger here that goes out to the end of the firewall, which is going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but you can just buy those pre-built, cut the old one off, weld the new one on, which is exactly what I'll do. And you can buy this little bit too, so I'll buy that bit and I'll buy that bit and I'll stick them on, weld them on, make it look like new again. So yeah, now I'll rip the other side out. So we've got the other side out now. Looks far better than the driver's side. This little outrigger here is not rusted, and the main firewall outrigger there doesn't look as rusted, or rusted at all really. So what I'm going to do is I'll rip this bottom bit of the aircon unit out, which is just a cover plate, so then we can see the rest of the floor up in there. I have a feeling that whole floor the whole way up is going to be gone, but it'll just be the same as the other side, so that's no real drama. And I did have a thought I could make the whole floor out of alloy instead of going steel up to there and then alloy. I want to go alloy the whole way. If that's going to be a problem, yeah, I don't know. If you reckon it'll be a problem for some reason, I'd love to hear it, because I can't see an issue with having alloy in there instead of steel, because it won't rust then. So guys, got that cover panel off now. As you can see, there's a little bit more rust up there, but it doesn't go anywhere near as high as it does on the driver's side. I'll probably still have to just cut it back up to that edge up there and sort the new one out from there. I would say we'll just go the whole panel like on the other side, go down and across. Yeah, so now I'm going to go back over to that side and well, actually first I might cut what's left of that out, all that lovely stuff. And yes, the battery was actually sitting in that without hitting the floor somehow. So there we are guys, nice clean cut around the outside. That bit there is actually the old battery tie down rail, which I might still use maybe. But yeah, I'll obviously have to clean the edges up a bit, but at least now I know the size of the bit of steel I'm going to need. Everywhere around the outside there's in pretty good nick now, so I know I can weld to that. So I'll just go to the steel shop, get myself some steel that's a little bit bigger than that, and cut it to shape, cut it to size, and stick it in, weld her on, and she's good to go. So guys, we got that front edge there all trimmed up, ready to go. I haven't got any steel with me, but that's all trimmed up nicely along there. I'll take to it with a flap wheel and clean it all up so it's nice and shiny so I can weld to it when I get the steel or alloy or whatever I'm going to do with it. Obviously I can't weld it there if it's alloy. I'll find another way, whether I bolt it through or pop rivet it or whatever. I'll work that out if I go that way. Got this edge along here all cleaned up, ready to go. So now I just got to cut the passenger side out. I'm not going to permanently put these floors in until I get my new outriggers plural, and put that on, because that'll be heaps easier to do with no floor in it. So now I'm just going to shoot over and do that passenger side, and I'll get back to you when that's done. So guys, I gave that cross member a good flogging, or not cross member, sorry, the outrigger a good flogging, just so you could see how bad that cross member actually is. So that's completely junk. So we'll definitely, I just looked up, you can get that piece for about 80 bucks and that bit for about 70 bucks. So I'm happy with that. And I've got a spare bulkhead. I'm going to cut this bit out of it and weld a new bit in there and brace it all and everything, just because when you weld something like that you lose a little bit of strength. And the only problem I can see with doing the alloy the whole way is you're going to lose a little bit of rigidity in this bit where it was steel before. Not a great deal, and I reckon I can get around it by running some little alloy box underneath it to strengthen it up. I reckon it'll work just fine. So I reckon I'm going to go ahead and do the alloy. I've got to source it and get it bent up and everything. I've got to make a template of the shape and size that I want and take that somewhere, and they'll press it and cut it and bend it and everything, and then I can just sit it in, hopefully, if I get the template good enough. So here's the passenger side. As you can see, this outrigger is so good still, it still has black paint on it. And this is like still got black paint on it there too. So I'm at a loss as to why the other side is so bad and this side is so good. The guy was a fisherman, so maybe getting in and out of the car with salt water on his shoes or something, who knows. But yeah, so there's that side, there's this side. Like, as you can see, like, there's still black paint on it. There's nothing wrong with this side at all. This bit here in the bulkhead is still good. It's still got the mount there and everything for the floor panels. So yeah, I don't know why the other side's so much worse than this side. I wish the other side was this good, make life a lot easier, but yeah, anyway, I've never replaced one of these before, so we'll be learning along together on that one. But yeah, so as you can see, I sort of didn't go up quite as far on this side. It's got a little bit of a surface rust on it there, but this bit here is still good. That bit there's solid. This bit here is solid. So, and I got really lucky because if it wasn't solid, then I'd probably have to take all the aircon out to get into it. So, and that is a real pain job. Goes all the way across, comes down, mounts. Anyway, so I'm going to leave those bits there and work around that however I do. And this, obviously, I'm going to keep steel just because it's holding the weight of the battery, bouncing up and down dirt roads and all that sort of stuff. So, while I've got all the floor panels and that out, I'm going to change the gearbox oil because it's heaps easy to do. Like, obviously you can do it with the floor in, but it's heaps easy to do it with it out. Yeah, so we'll do that cross member and I think it was called, that outrigger, not cross member, and that was called an outrigger tie. So we'll do those two, get a new floor panels made and stick them all back together, stick them in and be done with it. Do that. I did actually find a pair of seats for sale that I'm going to pick up for it. They look like they're in good nick. They're reasonably cheap, so that'll be nice. I'll be able to put seats back in it. If anyone's got a center console cubby box that they want to sell me, let me know in the comments because I'll buy it off you, because I don't want to run the center seat like it had. There's not enough room in here to begin with, let alone with a third person in the middle. So yeah, I've got the third seat there, the dicky seat for sale if anyone wants it. Let me know. So yeah, that's her. And in case anyone has been wondering about engine and driveline and that, this is how it started after I pulled it out of the paddock. So, as you can tell, thing runs like a dream. No knocks, no rattles, no smoke even. Thing's got a little puff of black when she starts up, and that's it. No oil smoke, nothing. The engine oil's still mint. There's no signs of blown head gasket, which is really good. And if you know these 300 TDIs, they are a little bit common for doing head gaskets, so yeah, that's really nice. So it does need a couple little things, like the power steering pump. I think the relief valve in it is stuck open or something along those lines. I filled the reservoir up, and one, it basically just started running straight out of one of the lines, but two, when I hit the steering wheel, it shot out of the reservoir about 10 foot in the air and sprayed power steering fluid everywhere. So yeah, I'm going to pull the pump off, see if I can work out what's wrong with it, and if I can't, then I'll just get another pump. One of the few things that I actually don't have a spare of. But yeah, like it's okay. It's only got like 150 thou or something on it. It's still got the plastic bungs in the radiator and the thermostat housing, which is pretty uncommon. They normally split and explode everywhere by now. So yeah, I will be getting brass ones for that. But factory fitted aircon, pump sounds good. It's got a wasp nest on it. But other than that, she's mint. Spins good and everything. So it didn't have a belt on it when I got it. Here's the tensioner here. The bearings in it are a bit noisy, so I'll do a video for you showing you how to replace these bearings and stuff like that, so you don't have to go and buy a whole pulley. You can just buy the bearing itself and put new ones in it, and away you go. Same with the tensioners, you can just put new bearings in them as long as the spring's not collapsed, as long as it's just the bearing. But yeah, that's another video. I'll do all that. I'll pull all this off, pull the fan off. I'm going to have to make myself another special spanner to get the fan off because I don't actually have one. And I'm sure my old man doesn't want me stealing his one. So I'll have to make myself a spanner for that. So guys, we got a fair bit done on today. Cut out all these floors. We know what we need to do now, what we need to get. So yeah, I'm going to look into doing alloy for that the whole way. Something different. I haven't done it before. Don't know if anyone's done it before. If you've seen it done or you've done it, let me know. Let me know if it worked. Need to get a new outrigger and one of those tie-in things. So we'll get them. Get those floor panels made up, whichever way I go with it. We'll get them made up. What else? That's about it really. Changes the engine, it's mint. That rear cross member will get to, well, I'll do all that when I start doing the tray mounts and all that sort of stuff at the back half. At the moment I'm just sort of trying to finish cab forward. Once the cab forward's done, we'll start on the back. Once I've got this door closing properly, which I don't think it will, it's pretty bent. I might have to get another door, which is a pain because it's not actually that rusty. Anyway, so yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, share it with your mates. Hope to see you again. Have a good one.